Your liver is working right now, right this second. It's cleaning your blood, making proteins, storing energy, and doing about 500 other jobs to keep you alive. But the scary part is that up to 30% of adults, that's 1 in 3 adults in Western countries, are estimated to have some form of fatty liver disease. My professor in medical school used to say something that stuck with me. The liver is the most forgiving organ until it isn't. What he meant was this: your liver can lose up to 75% of its function before you feel anything wrong. No pain, no warning signs, just silent damage, building up day after day. Most people think liver disease comes from drinking too much alcohol. And yes, alcohol is a problem. But today we're talking about 5 hidden threats that are damaging millions of liver around the world. Things you do every day, things sitting in your medicine cabinet, things you think are healthy. And by the end of this video, you will understand what's really happening inside your liver and, more importantly, what you can do about it right now. If you're new here, hi. I'm Dr. Ali, a family medicine resident doctor in the UK, and on this channel, I focus on preventative health, metabolic health, and longevity. My goal is to help you not just live longer, but stay healthier and more independent as you age. Please do subscribe and like as it helps the channel. Let's start with the first hidden liver threat, and it's probably in your kitchen right now. Think of your liver like a factory. When you eat sugar, especially the kind called fructose, found in sodas, candy, and processed foods, your liver has to process it. But here's the problem: when you overload your liver with sugar, it starts turning that sugar into fat. And that fat gets stored right inside your liver cells. This condition is called non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, and it now affects 30 to 40% of all adults worldwide. That's more than 1 in 3 people walking around with a fatty liver, and most have no idea. My brother drinks 3 sodas a day. It's just soda, he says, but each can has about 40 grams of sugar. That's like eating 10 sugar cubes 3 times a day. His liver was drowning in sugar, turning it into fat, and he felt fine until he did not. Here's what happens inside your body when you eat too much sugar and processed foods. Your fat cells get bigger. They start releasing chemicals that cause inflammation throughout the body. Your body stops responding to insulin properly. This is called insulin resistance. And when that happens, your liver can't stop making fat. It's like a car with broken brakes, but it gets worse. That fat in your liver isn't just sitting there, it's toxic. It creates something called oxidative stress. Think of it like rust forming on metal. This rust damages your liver cells, causes inflammation, and over time creates scar tissue called fibrosis. The scary bit is that about 10 to 20% of people with fatty liver will develop inflammation and scarring. Some will even progress to cirrhosis, where the liver becomes so scarred it can barely function. And yes, you can get liver failure and liver cancer without ever drinking alcohol. What you can do now to prevent this is cut back on added sugars, read the labels. That healthy granola bar might have 15 grams of sugar. That flavored yogurt, maybe 20 grams. The American Heart Association says women should have no more than 25 grams of added sugar per day, and men no more than 36 grams. Most Americans currently eat 77 grams a day. Now let's talk about the second threat. And this one surprises most people because we take these thinking they will help us. Your medicine cabinet might be hurting your liver. I'm talking about medication you can buy without a prescription and supplements you think are natural and safe. Here's the truth. In the United States, medication and supplements are the second leading cause of acute liver failure, right after acetaminophen overdose. The numbers are rising. Over the past 25 years, liver failure from supplements has increased 8 times. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine your liver as a filter in your home. Every medication Every supplement, every chemical you put in your body has to pass through that filter. Your liver breaks them down, detoxifies them, and gets rid of them. But some medication are like rocks going through that filter. They damage it. Which drugs are the biggest culprits, you asked? Antibiotics top the list. Drugs like Coamox or amoxicillin clobulinate, which doctors prescribe millions of times a year for infection. Also, nitrofurantoin for urinary tract infections. Minocycline for acne. These are common everyday antibiotics. Then there are pain medication, not just prescription opioids, but over-the-counter drugs like ibuprofen or diclofenac. My mom used to take ibuprofen every day for her knee pain before I got to know. But taking these medications daily, especially at higher doses, can slowly damage your liver. Here's what shocked me most. Herbal supplements and dietary supplements. People take these thinking they're natural and therefore safe. Green tea extract for weight loss, bodybuilding supplements for muscles, Ayurvedic herbs, traditional Chinese medicine, these account for a huge percentage of supplement related liver injuries. The main problem is this: supplements aren't regulated like medications. The bottle might say one thing, but what's actually inside could be completely different. Some contain heavy metals, some contain unlisted ingredients, some are just toxic to the liver. What happens inside your liver is that these medications and supplements trigger something called idiosyncratic or drug induced liver injury. Idiosyncratic means unpredictable. It doesn't depend on the dose, it can happen after one pill or after years of taking something. Your liver cells start dying, inflammation sets in, liver enzymes will spill into your blood, which we can see on a blood test. Most people don't have symptoms until it's serious. Then they notice yellowing of the skin or the eyes, which we call jaundice, dark urine, extreme fatigue, or pain in the right upper side of the belly. What you can do is keep a list of everything you take, including supplements. Show them to your doctor. If you're taking multiple medication, ask if they could affect your liver. Get your liver enzymes checked with a simple blood test, and please be very careful with supplements. Just because it's sold in a store doesn't mean it's safe. Third liver threat is connected to something affecting millions: carrying extra weight, especially around your belly. Let me explain this with a simple comparison. Think of your body like a city. Your fat tissue isn't just storage, it's like a neighborhood. When that neighborhood gets too big and crowded, it becomes inflamed. It starts sending out distress signals, chemicals called cytokines, that travel through your bloodstream to the liver. Here's the critical part: when you have excess weight, especially around your abdomen, combined with high blood pressure, high blood sugars, high triglycerides, or low good cholesterol, which is the HDL, you have something called metabolic syndrome. And metabolic syndrome is a direct highway to liver damage. The numbers are staggering. Among people with type 2 diabetes, 60 to 70% have fatty liver disease. Among people with obesity, it's 70 to 80%. This isn't a coincidence. These conditions are all connected through insulin resistance. Here's what's happening at a cellular level. Your fat cells, especially the ones around your organs, which we call visceral fat, become resistant to insulin. They start breaking down fat uncontrollably. This releases a flood of fatty acids. Your liver takes up these fatty acids and also starts making its own fat through a process called de novo lipogenesis. The fat accumulates in liver cells. This creates a toxic lipid molecule that damages the cell's power plant, which is the mitochondria, and triggers inflammation. But here's what most people don't realize: you don't have to be overweight to have fatty liver disease. About 10 to 20% of people with fatty liver are lean. They have normal body weight, but still have metabolic problems. This is why metabolic health matters more than just the number on the scale. The inflammation in your liver doesn't just stay in your liver, it spreads throughout your body. It increases your risk of heart disease, kidney disease, and certain cancers. In fact, Cardiovascular disease is the number one cause of death in people with fatty liver disease, not liver failure. What you can do is focus on losing 5 to 10% of your body weight if you're overweight, especially. Studies show that this can significantly reduce the liver fat and inflammation. You don't need to be perfect. Small, consistent changes work. Walk about 30 minutes a day, cut out sugary drinks, eat more vegetables and lean protein, get your blood sugar, your blood pressure, and cholesterol checked. These are all connected to your liver health. Now, we're moving to the fourth threat, and this one is invisible. You can't see it, you can't smell it, and you can't taste it, but it's everywhere. Your liver is your body's detox center. Every chemical you breathe, touch, or consume gets filtered through your liver. But we live in a world filled with chemicals that did not exist about 100 years ago, and many of them are toxic to your liver. Think of your liver like a security guard at a building. For thousands of years, it knew how to handle the usual visitors, the natural foods, plants, maybe some alcohol, but now hundreds of new chemicals show up every single day. Chemicals in plastics, pesticides on food, heavy metals in water, air pollution. Your liver's security system is overwhelmed. Here are the main culprits. Heavy metals such as lead, mercury, arsenic, cadmium, these accumulate in your liver. Over time, they create oxidative stress, which then causes damage to your DNA and triggers inflammation. You might be exposed through contaminated water or even certain fish which were high in mercury or exposed to old paint in an old home. Pesticides and herbicides, these chemicals are designed to kill living things. When they get into your body, your liver has to break them down. Chronic exposure can cause fatty liver disease and liver damage. The other things are industrial chemicals like BCPs, which stand for polychlorinated biphenyls, and polyfluoroalkyl substances, also called PFAS, and they're also known as forever chemicals. These are volatile organic compounds. These are in non-stick cookware, in stain-resistant fabrics, some cosmetics, and even industrial pollution. They disrupt your hormones and damage your liver. Then moving on to air pollution. Yes, even the air you breathe, tiny particles from car exhaust and industrial emissions get into your bloodstream and affect your liver. Studies show people living in areas with high air pollution have higher rates of fatty liver disease. My professor also used to say, we're all walking chemistry experiments right now. He was right. Studies have found dozens of industrial chemicals in the blood of average person who have no idea that they've been exposed. What happens in your liver is that these toxins trigger multiple pathways of damage. They create free radicals, and free radicals is basically unstable molecules which would then go and damage cells and DNA. They interfere with your liver's ability to process fats. They disrupt your hormones. They cause inflammation. And because many of these chemicals are fat soluble, they accumulate in your liver over years. The scary part is that even in low level exposure over time, this can cause damage, especially when combined with other risk factors like obesity or even poor diet. So finally, you will be asking, what is it that you can do? You can't obviously avoid all environmental toxins, but you can reduce your exposure. Filter your drinking water, choose organic produce when possible, especially for the dirty dozen fruits and vegetables within the highest pesticide residues. Avoid plastic containers for food storage. Use glass instead. Don't microwave food in plastic. Limit consumption of large predatory fish which are known to be high in mercury, such as swordfish and king mackerel. Use natural cleaning products. These small changes add up. The fifth and final thread is something most people never connect to liver health, but the science is clear. When was the last time you got a full 8 hours of quality sleep? If you're like most people and it's been a while, your liver is paying the price. Here's a shocking statistic. People who sleep 5 hours or less per night have a 28% higher risk of fatty liver disease in men and 71% higher risk in women compared to people who sleep more than 7 hours. Let that sink in. Poor sleep is damaging your liver. Let me explain with a simple analogy. Think of your liver like a night shift worker at a factory. During sleep, your liver does critical maintenance work. It processes the fat, regulates the blood sugars, repairs damaged cells, and clears out toxins. But when you don't sleep enough, it's like forcing that worker to keep running the machines without any time for maintenance. Things start breaking down. Here's what happens in your body. Even one night of poor sleep causes insulin resistance. Your body stops responding to insulin properly. Your liver starts producing more glucose. Your fat cells release more fatty acids. All of this leads to fat accumulation in your liver. Studies show that just 4 days of sleep restriction can reduce insulin sensitivity by 16 to 32%. That's almost as bad as having type 2 diabetes. And it's not just about duration, the quality matters as well. If you're waking up frequently, tossing and turning, or dealing with sleep apnea, your liver suffers. Sleep deprivation also increases stress hormones like cortisol and growth hormone. These hormones tell your body to break down fat from your fat tissue and send it to your liver. They also make your liver resistant to insulin. It's a perfect storm for your liver damage. But wait, there's more. Poor sleep increases inflammation throughout your body. It raises levels of inflammatory chemicals like interleukin 6 and interleukin 1 beta. These chemicals travel to your liver and promote inflammation and scarring. And here's the vicious cycle. Liver disease makes people sleep worse. People with fatty liver disease often have poor sleep quality, which makes their liver disease worse, which makes their sleep worse. It's a downward spiral. Colleagues of mine would really flaunt them not sleeping over night shifts and over prolonged periods of time. And they would say, I'll sleep when I'm dead, or sleep is for the weak. But the research shows that chronic sleep deprivation might get you there faster. Poor sleep is linked to obesity, diabetes, heart disease, and yes, liver disease. What you can do is prioritize sleep like you prioritize eating and exercise. And I hope that you are prioritizing exercise. Aim for 7 to 9 hours per night. Keep a consistent sleep schedule. Even on weekends, make your bedroom dark, quiet, and cool. Avoid screens for an hour before bed. Limit caffeine after 2 p.m. If you snore loudly or wake up gasping, get checked for sleep apnea. Treating sleep apnea can improve your overall health, although studies on liver benefits are a bit controversial and mixed. Finally, let's wrap this up with what you need to remember. Your liver is resilient, but it's not invincible. The five things we talked about today, excess sugar and processed foods, common medications and supplements, excess body weight and metabolic syndrome, environmental toxins, poor sleep, are silently damaging millions of liver. The good news, of course, is that you have power over most of these. You can change what you eat. You can be careful with the medications and supplements. You can lose weight. You can reduce toxin exposure. You can improve your sleep. Start with one thing, just one. Maybe it's cutting out soda. Maybe it's reading supplement labels. Maybe it's going to bed 30 minutes earlier. Small changes create big results over time. Your liver is working for you right now. It's time to work for your liver. If you found this helpful, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, the best time to protect your liver was 10 years ago. The second best time is today.